Tie a bowl line in the end of this. Any loop will work. You just got to make sure it's bigger than your foot. Okay? So I'm going to go around my foot. That would be bad. So I'm going to go from the bottom to the top with the eye. Okay, everybody see that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I'm going to do it again. Okay. I'm going to get my spring, my safety out of the way. And there I compressed it. So if I had one hand in the trap, I could probably hold this with my teeth or whatever. I would get really inventive. And I'm going to get my safety spring on and relax it. And because it's a 2-spring trap, you've got to do the same thing on both sides. But this is a very, very important skill to learn.
90% of the time, guys, I'm out there by myself messing with 330's beaver trap.
Yeah, this could, seriously could save your life.
Underwater, it's usually mucky water. You know what I'm saying? You got to self-rescue's big by yourself.
And if you're walking your line and somebody's in one of your traps, somebody whatever trying to get up out of the water, whatever. I mean, you may not always have your stuff available. Somebody's dog gets hooked up in a 220 that somebody irresponsibly set. You can take a piece of paracord out of your pocket, rope, whatever you have to do, and take that trap with a better bowl line. There we go. Yeah. Now when I set them initially, before I get both sides done, if you have it here and you let it go, it's going to spring to this depth and this will jump forward. So you get movement out of it. So like right now, if it fires here, it's going to slide forward and you're going to get a little bit of jump. Okay, understand? Right. So
You better to keep it up here.
when I'm working the trap, when it's set like this, I try to keep tension on the spring so they don't slide.
Okay.
But when you've only got one set and it's not tensioned yet, then it can go all over and that's when bad things happen.
All right. And these wires do need to be not straight, right?
For different sets. Trapping for beaver and a muskrat's coming and going through your big 330s, you're not catching beaver, you're catching little tiny muskrats. So in order to resolve that, you can take a straight trigger like this and you can offset it. So on something like this, you're given passage for smaller game. Doesn't mean they're not going to trip the trigger, but you try your best. But if a big-bodied beaver or something goes through a trap like that, an offset trigger lets you selectively trap. Okay? Okay, skinning. So I brought a coon, but my coon's a little frosty. So we've got another volunteer over here. And I think this is kind of interesting. If you look at these two raccoons, this one's from 5 hours north of this coon. So you look how much thicker the hair is on this northern coon than this. It's really amazing. I never really get to see these two side by side. And I'm into prime coon right now, but it really hasn't been that cold. It's just been just average, I would say. Nothing really terrible. But it is night and day difference. You know, the coloration, which is going to vary anyway, but the hair is crazy. Nice. All right, go ahead. Did you notice that, Dan? The hair color, or the nap of the hair from a northern coon to the southern coon, the difference?
Well, and it's related to temperature. Color is a variance on coons, but the thicker the hair, the more value it is.
Right.
You can see the difference, and that's related to the cold weather. We call them prime coons. You know what I'm talking about. When you open this coon up, you're going to see if the hide is white. But then we call them blue coons. Coons are blue when they're out of prime. They're underneath their skin. When the skin's out, we'll see if that coon's in prime or not. That's, you know, it's just a little different to understand.
So that would be as good as that coon is going to get in its location. I mean, it's, a southern animal is never going to get the
No.
hair that a northern animal
No.
is going to get.
Later in the year, it'll get thicker fur.
It does get better.
It takes, in Ohio, it's funny because if it's 70 degrees in November, I can't even start trapping coons till late, which actually throws their cycle because they start a breeding cycle. And they're weather related because they're semi-hibernation animals. But if you trap them too early, the pelts are no good. But if you wait for that line, you know, in January when it really gets cold, you know, late December, January, that's when they really prime up because it's temperature related. If we have a very warm winter, we won't have the prime coats.
Right.
They won't prime up on.
I know late in the year when it starts to get cold and they go into a semi-hibernation, a lot of times I'll get scuff marks on my coons where they're kind of coming and going out of their dens more.
Well, one of the biggest things is scuff marks, but if you noticed, when you skin them, you see all the little pinholes in them? You know where that's from? Later coons, as it goes, the breeding cycle starts, and that's the male biting her in the back. So you'll be fleshing, where are all these holes? They look like wormholes or something. What it is bite marks. So that can devalue your hide. Okay, so there's that window of opportunity for super prime, but if you go too late, the pride, especially on big sows, could be damaged. So something to think about, guys. You know, it's all about a hole, a window of opportunity. But go ahead, I don't want to hold you up.
Oh,
I want to see this.
I caught this raccoon about 2 days ago. Usually I'd brush him out if I was at home to get all the birds out, but I don't have a brush with me. So the first thing you do is you start right here. Well, on males you can skin down the front to the knee, go straight across to the other knee and go up, which is what I'm going to try to do. His feet are a little stiff though.
Go get it. You gotta see this.
Doing this, it makes it a little wider on the bottom for making hats and things. So that's how I like to do them. But once you get up to both ankles, you can just cut in a circle around it on both sides. And you just go from side to side. Alright, and then you gotta skin around the butt.
You guys all see where she cut the sled across there?
Started right here, went down to the first knee, you can feel the bone. Went straight across to the other knee and went straight up. You can also skin them from right here straight across, but it cuts all this off and it'll be on the belly. And the belly you can't use as much because it's usually thinner hair. So if you can save as much of that, it's better. And then you want to skin around the butt. And then you can just start skinning it down. I use a Havilon knife for skinning my animals because I can just change the blade every time it gets dull. Just push it down as much as you can. I'm just cutting what I can't pull. It's easier if you push down than if you pull down. It makes it just the skin come off easier, I found out. But just do the same thing with the other side. The whole leg's trying to go in the hide.
Still pretty cold. Froze up a little bit.
He's not froze, he's just cold and
Hard to do.
just every time you want to do a demonstration, it's twice as hard as usual.
You know,
Right. Absolutely.
it's easy sitting in the barn doing this. Everybody's watching you now.
It's even worse when you're trying to do it on camera.
Yeah, she's doing a good job.
You tie the other leg up.
Yeah. So I'm just skinning it down. Once it gets a little looser, I'll start just pulling it down again.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Sometimes what we'll do with the fat is bring it to my grandma and she makes soap.
Soap?
Yeah. She'll melt it down and everything. It's not cough or anything.
Don't worry, you don't get them all to cough right every time.
So how do you get the tail loose then?
At home I have a thing that looks like a brake flaring tool, and it has little holes in them, and you can just pull it down. But you can use 2 sticks on either side and pull it down, or you can cut it all the way down it and just slowly skin it. I haven't done it with 2 sticks before.
Just keep going. Just keep nicking it with your knife.
Alright. On the tail?
On the tail here.
I'm gonna pull it down a little further too so you can.
Ooh, I see his eyes.
Might be his tummy.
Yeah, if you pull too early,
Or
you'll pull the tail
intestines.
off. Yeah, that's it. Just keep it up just like that. A little bit more if you can. It'll just pull right off if we don't go far enough.
One thing in a pinch, you can use a standard pair of pliers. Use your big handle.
Mm-hmm.
You use a regular, just cheap pair of pliers, and it'll pull off. They make tail strippers for that, but you get by.
Yeah. Someone made me a chair out of an old brake
He's
flaring
gonna
tool.
break the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, they welded it up and stuff, so that one's really.
He broke the roof.
There you go.
Now this tail still has to get split because that'll rot on the inside. So they make like a tail guide to stick it in there so you don't, split it too far or split it off center. I have a stripper too, but I usually just use sticks or a screwdriver.
Yeah. But you can just keep going down. Oh man, I can't do that on the belly. Trying to let all the guts out. But
I mean, that's the best part, ain't it?
Having all the guts falling in your
Sure.
hand.
Somebody will pick them up. Who
fire the
knows?
grill
Somebody
back
might
up?
take them home and eat them.
it sounds delicious.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, if you had to, that's
makes really good
it's still
soap,
some
too.
food.
The stuff that's made out of it's really good.
I used it to treat a bow. I used coon fat and beeswax.
Yep.
Sealed a bow. Make a candle with that.
Just keep
Who wants to
looking
cook
down.
their
Render down to
food?
oil would be okay for a lubricant for
Absolutely.
microwaves and all
That'd be a lubricant just like it is right there.
that, right?
Who wants to take it home and cook it?
I mean,
I want the
whatever you
skin.
can.
I have a
Get off
winch
of it.
at home that I can winch them up with, but I always end up on the floor like this. I just forget I can do anything like that.
Oh, she's getting to the head.
Twice as long
But
as you work.
I'm down to the arms now. I have a little rod at home I'll stick in between the arm. But here I'll just put my finger in there.
Chewy.
There's a stick
Kinda
of the
big.
This'll work.
Just clean it out when you get home, so when you eat it, you don't have to taste dirt.
And then you just pull down and the arm will just come down.
And that
Very
Just skin down a little further and then you just ring around the wrist.
Ring around the roses.
I see the guts in the blood. Whoa.
Nice
And then
job.
the one foot's out and you just do the same thing on the other side.
I don't think I'm gonna use that.
Have Dad do it for me.
Why? It's not. That's not fun. You gotta learn it yourself. Did you ever have to do it out in a survival situation?
I wouldn't care to
There you go. And then you just
Just cut the neck.
use your knife and skin down the sides of the head.
Keep that.
There's a lot of fat where the ears are, like this. The ears are right after this. So you just cut through it.
Don't see the brain.
What's inside the
No,
skull?
you
I
can't
mean,
do
if you
that.
want to take a rock and bust the head open.
Well, it's best head open.
Well, my mom shot it in the head, so you might get to see the brain. But
You test your knife out, how much it hacks, just like hack the body in half.
Sure.
Probably one of these kernels. Yeah.
once you get a little further down, the eyes will be right here, and you'll just
Like cutting stuff.
cut through a thin layer of skin to them.
Cut the
That's what we
eyeballs
should do is
out.
get Jason doing
That's a lot harder than it sounds.
Yes, it is.
Just stab and pull it out.
All you gotta do. That's the
And
next
then you
demo.
just cut through the lips on the side, and you scan it the rest of the way down.
Oh, I see the eyeballs.
Yeah, that's not easy when you get down to the ears and the eyes and the nose. That's not easy. She's doing an excellent job.
And then once you get to the nose, you just cut through the cartilage.
Yeah, Lynn Thompson, right.
You're trying, this is where you slow down and take a lot of pride in your craft.
They did some pretty good
Because
stuff. I like
the-
that stuff.
when you're trying
See,
to
you're
sell
pretty
high,
quick.
you want
I like them better.
Yeah.
But if you wanna make something
So that's the.
I want the skin.
My mom says nobody can have it but her, so. That's the
Great
head.
job. Nice job.
Oh, that's cool.
Excellent. Thank you.
Come out in the sunlight over here. We can
I'm
get a better picture.
16.
16.
Keep it.
Can I-